Hi there, I'm Diane Craig, and welcome to Breakthrough Point to Growth and Transformation. I am absolutely excited and thrilled that you're with me today. So, this is a two-part video series in which I will share one of my absolute biggest tool I have in my toolkit. Is that something that might interest you? Well, if yes, then in this first video, I will share my experience with clients and what I've witnessed when it comes to people wanting to elevate their career, move to the next level, and see what's truly possible. In my second video, I will reveal how to discover what may be holding you back in your career and getting to where you know you belong. Get ready, because what I have to share with you is absolutely transformational. Are you ready? All right, let's go. So, first, I'd like to share that most of the clients I meet and who have reached a certain level of success, they want to accelerate their career and avoid what I call leadership career disasters that would actually slow down their process in getting there. So, here's what's been proven. When we don't show up with the best version of ourselves, we blame ourselves. Sometimes we blame others, and other times we blame circumstances, right? And guess what? Well, that puts us on what I call the judger's path, and we get stuck in the mud. So you might have heard yourself say, I can't believe I did this. Oh my gosh, they're so incompetent. Or with the economy the way it is, what did you expect me to do? Does that make sense to you? Well, here's the thing. You want to accelerate your career. You have like great technical skills and business knowledge. And actually that very expertise has helped you land the role you're in today. But now it is clear that you need more. And you may not be sure what that is exactly or how to make it happen. You seem to have hit a wall. Does that make sense? You may have told yourself, well, I know what, another degree. That's it. Do you agree? You might have done that. Well, here's the hard reality. Many of my clients have spent upwards of $100,000 on their education. Others have spent like tens of thousands of dollars on an extra degree, an MBA, a PhD. Certain this would lock in their next big job and that they would be making just that much more money once they added these degrees to their CVs. All right, so let's be clear. I'm all for education. It's a foundation, the price of entry to so many places. I'm a continuous learner myself. And research shows that it necessarily will not assure them of landing that dream job and at that dream salary. And if they do land that great job, they're still in what it seems to be a dead-end career. Why is that? If you're there with them, I don't think the problem is with your education or technical knowledge. I don't think the problem is with you. If you're struggling reaching that next level, if you're struggling outclassing your competition, if you lack the confidence or even the self-esteem that you can do it, it's because you've not been given the tools you need yet. Your boss might have said to you, well, you need more presence, be more strategic. I think you need to communicate a little bit more clearly. You need to be a little bit more succinct. Stop being in the weeds. Be sharper. Be more decisive. And also brush up on your presentation skills. And as well, I don't think you give the necessary feedback to your team. Well, here's something that's proven. Leaders are not born, they are made. And you too can land that dream job at that dream salary. I say this confidently because for over 30 years, I've been providing leadership training and coaching to executives of multinational businesses, Fortune 500 companies, business schools, and government agencies to optimize the performance and potential across every organizational level. I've seen people grow, I've seen people evolve and reach goals beyond their expectations. Our executive and leadership presence training system has been recognized around the world as the gold standard. From Europe to the Gulf region, Asia, Australia, South Africa, and across the America, North, Central, South, I've witnessed firsthand the global corporate acknowledgement that our system is an enrollment to transformation, from C-suite and senior executive to new professional. For example, at General Motors, thousands of people at different management levels have been benefited from our executive and leadership program, and HR confirmed with us that several of them show a clear upward trajectory in their career. And to this day, I'm proud to say that we continue working at GM, providing private executive coaching to senior management. We are proud to have helped accelerate the career and elevate the success of some of the most influential people in the world. I've also privately coached CEOs of multi-billion-dollar organizations and their C-suite executives. Because of the NDAs in place, as you can only imagine, I can't reveal their names, but one of them is the CEO of a $6 billion company, and another one is the CFO of an $80 billion company. I love seeing the growth and the transformation people achieve, and most importantly, who they become in the process. You may think, all right, Diane, so what? How does that help me? I'm no CEO or CFO. And maybe even if you're one, you're thinking, well, I work for a small company, not a multi-billion-dollar company. Well, at Corporate Class, we're in the business of empowering people. I've seen it over and over, where leaders are on an upward journey and then challenges emerge and their performance and productivity suffer. They suffer, their teams suffer, and the organization suffers. This is leadership career disaster in action. Something is holding them back, but they can't put their finger on it. Some of them think maybe they were promoted too early, some too late, and maybe something that the problem is with the organizational structure of the company. Others may think that the business just doesn't sell a product or service good enough to allow them to shine. Or, well, yeah, they have a bad boss. They're not supported. They're not heard. They don't have enough resources. Dysfunctional teams. There's no accountability. Tons of conflicts, lack of trust, tons of office politics, difficult people to deal with. Remember when we talked earlier about, this is either my fault, their fault, or the circumstances. Do you relate? Well, if you do, let's keep going. I realized over and over that all of these obstacles were false. The problem has been that organizations promote employees for performance, technical skills, and once promoted, they're not given the necessary tools to succeed as a leader. That's when leadership career disasters start happening. Whether you are an emerging or a seasoned leader, you're likely putting fires out day in and day out. Here's what's really happening. You got a promotion. You are keen to lead your team, and you soon find out that your knowledge and personal experience isn't enough. You understand the market and the complicated application that are needed to achieve results. You're someone who knows how this business works. You're talented. Yes, you know you are. Be humble for a moment, aren't you? You are talented. In all of the years of my training and coaching career, I have never met a successful leader who actually did not study how to create an environment where everyone grows and evolves and transforms to the best version of themselves. Your boss may be a perfect example of that. Most people haven't devoted sufficient, or for some, any time at all to learning how to lead, connect authentically, build confidence in others, and inspire and motivate people into action. The goal here is to empower you with the critical skills to avoid leadership career disasters. And most importantly, first, discover what's the one thing that's holding you back. I call it your breakthrough point to growth and transformation. Yes, I am convinced that you can become that leader we look up to and want on our team and in our organization. It's in you to become the one everyone wants to work with, pay extra to have you on their team, and the one person they will go the extra mile for. If you want to accelerate your career now and you're prepared to do the work, remember, success is a decision, a commitment, then keep watching this video. I've coached and trained hundreds of people in their leadership journey. I've had hundreds of people tell me about the stress and tension that they experience in their career. But before I talk about my experience, I'd like to share a story that happened to me shortly after I started my business. I was away on a business trip, and during this business trip, I was to deliver a workshop. I was delivering a workshop on executive presence, so a group of VPs of a pharmaceutical company. The president showed up in the boardroom and said he had to interrupt my session. He pulled me aside and said, there had been a call from my office and I needed to call them back. There was an emergency. I thought, what could possibly be so urgent? And that on top of it all, the president of the company himself would come to get me? Well, 1 week following that infamous call, I found myself in a meeting launching an organ donation campaign to honor my 11-year-old daughter who had just lost her life in a fatal school bus accident. A few months later, I launched a foundation, Sandrine's Gift of Life. Little did I know how much I would learn about leadership presence disasters, and on the upside, the profound impact a leader can have through effective communication and leadership best practices. Not only did I have my own business helping make leaders in both the corporate and political worlds, but now I was also the CEO of a foundation where I was accountable to a board of directors and in a position where I could influence thousands of people waiting for a life-saving donation. Well, it's now been nearly over 25 years since. And following this tragedy, as life would have it, I continued servicing my client. I stretched my leadership skills as the president of my company and the CEO of Sandrine's Gift of Life Foundation. I must admit that I was leading at a time of extreme grief, extreme stress, and uncertainty for what the future had in store for me. Often I wonder what it would have been like if I'd been better equipped as a leader and if I'd had a coach. Well, actually, I didn't have a coach when I first started my business. He was my number one coach and my role model. This was my late husband, a successful entrepreneur himself, who sadly passed away after battling cancer just 1 year after I started my business. And just 4 years before my daughter's fatal accident. He was 44 years old, so young. As you can see, my life experiences have impacted the training and coaching I've done over the years. For years, I told my client they needed to be equipped with the right tools to accelerate their career. And that is also the reason I believe leaders aren't born but made. Many get into a leadership role because they are so good at what they do. And then all of a sudden, this very expertise that got them promoted as a manager, a director, a VP, a senior VP, or even a CEO, just isn't enough now. That business expertise and knowledge didn't come along with the skills needed to lead, inspire, motivate, and build confidence. I bet that you've witnessed that yourself, didn't you? I'm here today to give you a tool that will make it easier for you to create an environment where you can avoid leadership career disasters and discover what's holding you back in your career. This environment begins when you become aware of your strengths and your opportunities for transformational growth. This is a journey, not an event. I have a tool for your personal use. And if you're a coach yourself, this tool will be invaluable in helping your client break through some of the biggest leadership barriers and find out what's really holding them back. I know you want to be proud of where you are at in your career, and you want to be happy doing what you do and enjoy a purposeful and meaningful life. Would you agree? Well, you're never too early or too late. Today is the right time to start always. If you want to start making changes that will accelerate your career and possibly the career of the leaders you work with, listen carefully about what I'm about to share with you. When I start working with a new client, I often hear they are pretty good leaders or their team dynamics aren't so bad. They feel they have reached a decent level of success, and they have, and they're pretty happy with their accomplishments so far. But I don't believe that. I rarely believe that. Why would we be talking if that was the truth? I start thinking about our judge, I call it our enemy number one, our judge or master saboteur. We all live with that saboteur. This master saboteur finds fault with self, others, and circumstances. I talked about that earlier, right? It causes very much of our disappointment, anger, regret, guilt, shame, and anxiety. No one, absolutely no one is immune to that judge. And that judge gets in the way of us showing up at our best, especially in stressful situations. Have you ever asked yourself, how could I mess this up? Well, remember, failure is not event. It is an event, not an identity. Failure is short-term pain. Fear of failure is a long-term pain. Nobody believes that it's that easy to be a respected and admired leader, right? What you need to do is come up with a roadmap, a framework you can use that gets you to recognize the strengths you have, the ones that you want to move from good to great, or maybe even from great to extraordinary, and the areas that are opportunities for your transformational growth. As crazy as it sounds, tension is reduced when you have a roadmap to leadership success, a framework that gets you to deal with reality. All right. Yes. Now, finally, the big reveal. You may even want to gather your team, your colleagues, your boss, or watch the video again with all of them, and especially the next one. What is my biggest tool? what is the biggest tool that I have in my toolkit that I want to share with you? Hit pause, go get them, or email them, text them right now. See you soon.